Ukraine is preparing new long-range strikes against Russia. This was stated by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. He personally held a meeting with the military and the Minister of Defense of Ukraine. We are preparing our new long-range strikes. We will also respond invariably harshly to every Russian strike against Ukrainians. In particular, the head of the committee reported on the completely just elimination of Russian murderers who took the life of a one-year-old boy in the Kherson region. Zelensky said. Military expert, Reserve Colonel of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Roman Svitan, said that Ukrainians often ask emotionally why, having the technical capabilities to reach targets deep in Russia, particularly in Moscow, Ukraine does not respond with strikes to the constant shelling of Kiev by the Russian Federation so that Muscovites could feel the war and listen to the air raid alarm. Svitan noted that Glavred that it is incorrect for the military to pose the question in the format of influencing the civilian population, since they are fighting the enemy's military forces. He called Russia's actions terrorist, since it is deliberately attacking civilians in Ukraine. In his opinion, such actions are typical of the Russian army and imperial policy, but contradict the principles of military honor that guide Ukrainian defenders. According to him, the main goal is to destroy military targets of the Russian Federation and not to try to put pressure on the population of the aggressor country. In addition, such an approach is ineffective because in case of danger, the Russians will simply move beyond the Urals and it will not be possible to achieve the desired effect. Such a strategy will not only fail to produce results, but will also contradict the values of the Ukrainian military. But hitting military targets in Moscow is a different matter, and Moscow is stuffed with military targets. And if we talk about decision-making centers, then even the Rublevsky baths are such. You just need to warn the escorts to leave the affected area, and you can check the temperature in these baths. 30% of the Russian high-tech military industry is located in Moscow and the Moscow region. The question is not whether they need to be hit, the question is with what? The fact is that the drones and cruise missiles that we have, and even perhaps would reach Moscow, do not reach there for the same reason why Iranian cruise missiles and drones did not reach Israel. They are simply shot down. What is the point of sending all this into a dense air defense system? After all, a dense, multi-layered air defense system means almost 100% destruction of air targets, he points out. Svitan believes that it would be appropriate to use ballistic missiles to defeat Moscow, since only this type of weapon is capable of penetrating the Russian air defense system. He noted that Russia has 3 key vulnerable points. The first is Moscow. The second is the oil and gas industry, whose facilities remain vulnerable to strikes by drones with explosives, despite the insufficient density of air defense. And the third is Crimea, where it is also possible to carry out strikes by drones, especially from the sea.
Nine people have died in a fire at an assisted living facility in Massachusetts, where people were hanging out of windows screaming for help, authorities said Monday. At least 30 people were injured. According to Associated Press, firefighters responded to the Gabriel House assisted living facility in Fall River at about 9:50 p.m. Sunday and were met with heavy smoke and flames at the front of the building, with occupants trapped inside, the State Department of Fire Services said in a news release. About 70 people live in the house. The fire was out by Monday morning and firefighters were able to get inside and rescue numerous occupants. About 50 firefighters responded, including 30 who were off duty. Many of those rescued were taken to local and regional hospitals in varying conditions. 5 firefighters suffered injuries that were not life-threatening, the statement said. This is an unfathomable tragedy for the families involved and the Fall River community, said Chief Jeffrey Bacon. He told reporters, multiple people were hanging out the windows looking to be rescued. Family members who showed up said police were trying to break windows. The Fall River Police Department in a statement said that, without hesitation, officers entered the smoke-filled facility, breaking down doors and escorting residents to safety. Approximately a dozen non-ambulatory residents were physically carried out by our officers. Their bravery and quick action undoubtedly saved many lives. The origin and cause of the fire are under investigation, state and local authorities said. Fall River, which has about 94,000 people, is about 20 miles southeast of Providence, Rhode Island.
About 9:30 tonight, we responded to an alarm at the Gabriel House, which is located directly behind me. Crews were met with heavy fire coming through the main entrance and multiple people hanging out the windows looking to be rescued. An incredibly coordinated effort between the fire department and EMS and the police department. Multiple victims were rescued from the building and transported to local hospitals for treatment. Unfortunately, at this time, we do have fatalities and multiple injuries, and we're still working to get those numbers to you, and we're going to try to update you when we have them.